Now it is my pleasure, on behalf of the SUMA Board of Directors and everyone in this room, to invite to the podium just an incredible advocate for his community and for the communities across Canada. So SUMA delegates, please help me welcome the President of the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, Scott Pearce.
Wow. Good morning, everyone. I must say I had a little tear in my eye during O Canada watching municipal leaders from all over this province standing together. It's what a way to start a day. Thanks for that. And the rendition of O Canada was absolutely spectacular. The voice of an angel that I heard this morning just touches me enormously. I want to mention to you that I am a unicorn, an English mayor from Quebec, so thanks for having me. I've had the honor of being president of FCM, and my term is coming to a close. In June, it'll be a good friend of ours, Randy? Jeff Stewart from Nova Scotia will be taking over. And I've had an amazing run at FCM. It's been 15 years I've been on the board there, and I've worked with amazing leaders from Saskatchewan, Jean-Marc and Gerald, Mike Straken that I see over there, and so many of them. And one thing I've always noticed from Saskatchewan is your elected folks show up to FCM with great ideas, but also there's a touch of class. Like, even if someone disagrees, they express themselves in such a classy way that the municipal leaders across this province really show what Saskatchewan is all about, good values, classiness, and working hard for the people in communities. So thank you to everybody that I've had the opportunity to work with over the years from Saskatchewan at FCM. And obviously one of the ones that I have to talk about is this lady here. It's been 15 years we've been working together. It's been an honor to work with her and to call her a friend, and I know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you and the help that you gave me over the years. So thank you so much, Randy, for everything you've done. And I'll reiterate what Randy said. For me, it's amazing because in Quebec, obviously, it's the French factor. So we don't really get together with Ontario's elected officials as much because I'd have to translate for 3,000 people, and I just don't have that capacity. But what's really awesome for me to see is my friends from Alberta, Jason and Kevin and Tyler, that show up here at SUMA, and Ray from SARM that comes to SUMA, and the folks from Manitoba that come to SUMA, and you interchange in your organizations, and it just shows that camaraderie, that leadership, that willingness to work together to find solutions on the ground. It's just unbelievable for me to see it. I can't say how proud I am to be a municipal leader when I see you guys go to work every day. Thank you so much for what you do. I want to get to the part of the serious stuff, I guess, is the federal government was supposed to come out with their budget in March, and at that point, they were talking a lot about housing, but nothing about infrastructure. So FCM got to work. They sent myself and Mike Savage, the mayor of Halifax, for Ottawa, where we did a press conference in front of the national media. And we mentioned the fact that housing is not just four walls and a roof. Generally, it's fun when your toilet flushes in the house and when you turn on the tap and water actually comes out. A little bit sarcastic, but I think it needed to be. And, you know, some of the opposition folks were saying things like the mayors are stopping housing. I don't build houses. Trust me, none of you want to live in a house that I build. But we build communities. That's what we do. And that was the message we sent out to the federal government. We build communities. You know, you may have a new neighborhood that's being built for the increasing population, but it's not just the housing that's needed. You need parks for the kids. You need water and wastewater. You need so much around housing. And the FCM did an outstanding job getting that number down, where nationally the average per housing unit for infrastructure is $107,000. Well, 3 days after that press conference, the government decided they're going to delay their budget by a month. And in the meantime, they've announced $1 billion directly into municipalities and another $5 billion for infrastructure. So the FCM did the job. I mean, I'm just a spokesperson. I'm the big mouth. At the end of the day, it's the staff that does the work on the Hill and knocks on doors. And it was so funny to hear where a couple MPs let us know, okay, you can stop knocking at my door. We've got the message. There'll be announcements coming soon. That's always fun when they're so tired of you, they're actually going to give you the money you've been calling for. But aside from that, we're still working on the CCBF, the Canadian Community Building Fund. That's a big one for all of our municipalities. It's $2.4 billion directly into the hands of the experts on the ground, you. I say this often, and I'm not trying to be nasty, but I don't need a bureaucrat from Ottawa or Quebec City telling me what my community needs. I could figure that out with my council and my residents. And that's the same thing for the CCBF. We know our needs on the ground. Just transfer us the money and we'll solve the problems. That's what we are in the municipal level. We're problem solvers. The other thing we've been talking about, and I certainly myself won't stop until and even after my mandate, I'm going to keep talking about it, is the municipal growth framework. As Canada's the population's increasing, as we know, 1.3 million new Canadians last year. That tends to add more money to the coffers of the provincial governments in taxation and more to the federal government in taxation. But for us, it just increases our costs. So we need to have a fiscal framework that's going to work for municipalities going forward. As the economy grows, so should investments into our municipalities. Otherwise, the 5.8 million homes that they're saying we need from now to 2030 will not be possible. Municipalities can't afford, you know better than I do, can't afford $107,000 every time a home is built. It's going to drive municipalities into bankruptcy. So both levels are, the lower levels of government need to come and work at the table with us. So the other thing is flexibility as municipalities. That's what we always ask for, flexibility. Send us the money. We know what to do. No strings attached. We have no problem showing where the money's been spent. We're proud of the work we do on the ground. And we are what I like to call the government of proximity. We're the closest to the people. And we know the needs locally. So we're going to keep battling on that. And there's more work to be done. You know, while the federal and provincial orders of government seem to get a lot of attention, I know from doing this for 20 years that on the ground people look to us for leadership. It happened to me not long ago where a resident in my community, married 56 years, his wife passed away. And over the years, he lost most of his friends due to age and having to move closer to the big city for hospitals. And I spent an hour and a half on the phone with him a couple of days after he lost his wife, just to make sure he knew that he was important to our community. And he calls me at least 3 times a week now. He's getting over it. And I've managed to convince him to volunteer in some of our local committees. So the fact that I made him feel important in our community is something that we do. We all do this every day. That's not done in Ottawa. That's done locally on the ground. And that's why I'm proud to be one of you. To show how SUMA is important to FCM, well, obviously they sent me here, which I think they just want to get rid of me, but they have Matt Gemmell here, one of our lead staff members at FCM, and as well for your trade show, there will be the Green Municipal Fund is there. We have some of our staff folks there, and take a good look at that. There is great funding opportunities for your municipalities there. There really is, for good projects, innovative projects, projects that really improve the quality of life in your communities. So please take a look. And one thing that I've done as president, the thing I'm most proud of, other than arguing with the feds, but we put in something called Trailblazers. And Trailblazers for me is very important. We need to show Canadians how competent we are as municipal officials. And Trailblazers, you can, if you have someone in your community, it could be an employee, a staff member, a council member, the mayor, someone who goes above and beyond the call of duty all the time, well, you can send us the information on that person at FCM, on the website. It's called fcm.ca's Trailblazers. And every week or two, I promote and put a highlight on some really incredible municipal people around this country. So when we discuss things with the federal government or the provincial governments, we can look at them eye to eye because we know we have some fantastic leaders across this country in the municipal sector. So if you know someone, please send their names in and let us highlight how awesome they are and what a great job they do in their communities and for the country itself. And before I go, the FCM Conference and Trade Shows in Calgary this year, June 6th to 9th, that'll be my last day as president. And then I'll be nowhere. No, then I'll be past president, so they keep me around for another year. So I'd love to see you all there. It's a great event, and for me as a proud Canadian, watching municipal folks from all over the country share best practices and share our values and try to help each other out, it amazes me every time. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I'll never get tired of it. So with that, again, I just want to thank you for all you do, because to me, you are Canada's true leaders. Thank you so much. Have a great conference.